All right, so today I am the person who's going to be giving the talk, and I'm giving the talk on positive psychology at the movies. You probably know, if you've been around, that we are trying to organize the church around the positive virtues and character strengths. And movies are a really great way to see how those virtues are called forth in different situations. So hopefully everybody here has already heard about this. If you haven't, VIA, V-I-A, which stands for Values in Action, via characterstrengths.org is a great place to learn more about the work of positive psychology and the character strengths. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through very briefly 9 different movies, which cover the 6 virtues, talk about a few character strengths, and hopefully that'll get a good discussion going about movies that exemplify positive virtues. By the way, the movie itself does not have to be a feel-good movie. It's just that there's some, that the characters use a character strength in order to manage the conflict that they're facing. The researcher Barbara Erickson said that positive emotions lead to enhanced survival by widening our possibilities. It gives us internal resources, curiosity, and we become aware of people and places around us. We believe we have choices and we engage with life. And that leads us to having usually a better outcome. So this is a very research-based, not Pollyanna-ish view of using character strengths. And we're just trying to make things just that 1% better, whatever that may be. Okay, so the first character strength I want to talk to you. First, I want to talk to you about love and justice, though those are 2 separate issues. I want to talk to you about the work of Bong Joon-ho. And if you don't know who that is, he is the director of the movie Parasite. And if you haven't seen Parasite, I'm just going to say this is a great time of year. You get a little extra time off, hopefully. See that movie. And I'm going to make a request that when we do have our discussion that no spoilers, please. Okay, it's the kind of movie you could easily spoil. Let's just not talk about Parasite, okay? But it's a great movie about social justice. And I promise I'm not gonna do this with all the movies, but that one, don't spoil it. Don't talk about it, okay? It's a great movie for social justice. But Bong Joon-ho has a lot of great movies, Memories of a Murder, The Host, or a couple of other ones. And I do want to talk about a scene in the movie The Host. So it's basically a horror movie, and there's a monster, and he's stolen the girl. And there's a wonderful scene where the family is sitting around eating dinner. And you can see that each family member is imagining that the girl is there. It's kind of heartbreaking, it's hopeful. And what it really is about is the power of love. It's the power of love that, in spite of the fact that, why not just hide from the monster? But no, they have to go out and face the monster, and they're going to do that out of love. So it's love that gives them the strength and the will to keep fighting. All right, I'm going to talk about 3 separate, 2 documentaries and a movie about courage. So a couple, which are Endurance, Shackleton's legendary Arctic experience, and then the fictional movie, which is called The Terror. And so if you don't know who Shackleton was, he was trying to traverse the Antarctic when his ship became stuck in ice. The ice eventually busted up the ship, sank the ship. 28 men were stranded out on the ice for 5 months, waiting to a time they could take their lifeboat 800 miles, so 720 nautical miles, to where they could be rescued. And the film uses a lot of actual film from the original expedition. It stars Kenneth Branagh, and it's a great, movie about grit, courage, endurance, perseverance, all of those things. The movie The Terror is almost the same story as Endurance, and it stars Jared Harris, and is also really great. And it's a great portrait of leadership and this flawed man, but still stepping up and taking responsibility for being a leader, as a great example of the fact that you can be flawed and still be a leader, because and then there's the movie Jane. So Jane is about Jane Goodall, and there have been dozens of movies made about Jane Goodall, but this is the movie that she loved. And the reason is because it uses archival, remastered archival footage that was shot by her then cameraman and later became her husband, who is an award-winning photojournalist for National Geographic. So it's just absolutely gorgeous movie. And it actually required a lot of courage to live among the chimpanzees. And you see a lifetime of empathy for these creatures, and also Jane Goodall's leadership in trying to protect them. These are wonderful movies for, holiday viewing, as it were. Okay, a movie about temperance. It's December. That's the month where we, at Seattle Atheist Church, focus on temperance. Is called I'm Bill W. And for those of you who don't know, so it's a story about Bill Wilson, Bill Wilson was a stockbroker, and he lost everything in the stock market crash. Blanking on the year, 1918, something like that. And so he lost everything. He became an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic until 1935. And he is the founder, along with a friend, of Alcoholics Anonymous. So this film is really about humility. It's about temperance, but it's about humility. It's about leadership, of course. And now the organization Alcoholics Anonymous has helped millions of people over almost 100 years. So every time I bring up Alcoholics Anonymous in an atheist group, somebody has to raise their hand and say, people who go to AA don't stay sober. To which I would say, so what? It helps many people stay sober for many years. And so people have lapses. That's fine. It's important to know that that's fine. There was supposedly some research that showed that the program didn't work. In that research, many of the people who they counted as failures only attended one meeting. If you're attending one meeting, you're not working the program, right? They recommend, in fact, 40 meetings in 40 days, and it's a whole program and whatever. But research that was published in peer-reviewed journals says that actually a 12-step program with an ongoing community of support shows significant promise for helping people stay sober. So the movie is called I'm Bill W. And, you might be interested. It's an incredible American story. All right. Next virtue that you may wish to celebrate by watching a film. There are two films. One is called, and I hope I get this right, Koyaanisqatsi, Koyaanisquati, Koyaanisqatsi, and the other one is called Baraka. And both of them, so Baraka was, they were both like contemplations of natural events, There's no narration whatsoever, and there's some music. Things happen in slow motion sometimes, or time lapse, and it just allows you to see amazing things. I remember from Baraka, I mean, I saw Baraka literally over 30 years ago. And I remember walking into the living room and there being this red-faced snow monkey in a hot spring. And it's just quite amazing. And, you know, just if you want to get in touch with wonder and the beauty of the world, not only the natural world, but you know, the beauty of people, then these movies, Baraka and Koyaanisqatsi, are wonderful resources for doing that. All right, so it is the time of the year when maybe we have a little extra time to curl up with a film with a friend. And I'm inviting you to think about what kinds of movies actually feed you, nourish you, and can even get you thinking about the situations in which we use our character strengths. So I hope we can have a conversation about that. Your favorite movies and why, or movies that teach moral lessons and why, but no spoilers about Parasite, please. All right, after today, we're gonna just be online for a while, and we're gonna circle up here in Seattle Atheist Church and say goodbye to our online friends.